seek their blessings. Today happens to be a special day, which is a need of the hour, where the seminar throws light on the mental fitness and the academic performance in the pandemic. The current pandemic has always taught us how to pick the certainty in uncertainty, search the patience in impatience, and believe the unbelievables. This event is jointly organized by RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru, SJB Institute of Technology, Bengaluru, SBRR Mahajan First Grade College, Mysuru, and University College of Physical Education, Bangalore University. We, the host, welcome you all for this occasion. And as we all know, mindset is what decides the best from the rest. This mindset is certainly possible with a perfect mental health. This mental health is a need of the hour, and we are, in fact, looking for it and craving for it in the present scenario. So, this pandemic has taught us a lot of things, and in this seminar, we will be learning more about it. We officially gear up for today's event with a welcome note by Dr. Amarnath KK, Chairman and Principal, University College of Physical Education, Bangalore University. Sir, over to you.
Good morning to you, everyone. Today, we have the National Live Seminar on mental fitness and academic performance during pandemic, hosted by Department of Physical Education and Sports, RV College of Engineering, Bangalore, SJB Institute of Technology, Bangalore, SBRR Mahajana First Grade College, Mysore, and University College of Physical Education, Bangalore University. On this live seminar, we have Dr. K.N. Subramania, Principal, RV College of Engineering, Bangalore, who is presiding this seminar and who is going to deliver the presidential address. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to Dr. K.N. Subramania. Welcome to you, sir. And to deliver the keynote address, we have Dr. Sundaracharas, former principal and chairman, University College of Physical Education, Bangalore University, and former registrar evaluation, Bangalore North University, and my beloved PhD guide. On behalf of the organizing committee and the host colleges, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Amar. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. And we have with us the eminent speaker, a very well-known personality in the field of psychology, Dr. C. Virender Chenoj from Hyderabad.
Thank you, sir.
Eager to hear you, sir. On behalf of the host colleges and the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we have with us the guests of honor, the principals of eminent colleges, Dr. B.R. Jaikumari, Principal, SBRR Mahajana First Grade College, Mysuru. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
And we have Dr. Ajay Chandran, CK, Principal, SJB Institute of Technology, Bangalore, with us.
Thank you.
On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Dear friends, this is the second seminar we are hosting with the support of these principals of these three colleges. We are very thankful to them. They are extending a lot of support to physical education and sports department. With their able guidance and support, we are organizing this second seminar. Thank you, sirs. And we have with us Dr. Vasant Shetty, Deputy Registrar, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences with us on behalf of the host colleges and the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to Sri Vasan Shetty, sir. Welcome you, sir. And we have the organizing committee, members, organizing secretary, Mr. Rangnath GH, Director of Physical Education, SJB Institute of Technology, Dr. Vishwanath CN, from Director of Physical Education, RV College of Engineering, and Dr. Bhaskar H, Coordinator, Physical Education Teacher, SBRR, Mahajana College, Mysore. I extend a warm welcome to all the three, Mr. Rangnath, Dr. Vishwanath, and Dr. Bhaskar. They are doing an excellent job. Welcome to you all, sir. And we have with us the host of advisory committee members, Dr. P.C. Krishnasamy, sir, Professor and former head of the department, University College of Physical Education, Bangalore University, Major Raghavendra C, RV College of Engineering, Dr. Anand Nadigir from Dharwad, and those of other principals and heads of the department from different physical education colleges and universities. On behalf of the organizing committee and the host colleges, I extend a warm welcome to all our beloved advisory committee members. Welcome to you all. And we have students from all the faculties, engineering colleges, degree colleges, and education and sports colleges, and the physical directors, teachers, and on behalf of the host colleges and the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to all the participants who have joined us. Thank you. I once again wish the seminar all the best of luck. I hope you will enjoy the day. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Amarnath, sir. That was indeed a warm welcome. On behalf of everyone here, a special welcome to you on this occasion. Thank you, sir. Today with us, we have the guest of honor, the principal of SBRR Mahajan First Grade College, Dr. B.R. Jayakumari, ma'am. Ma'am, we are looking forward to listen to your thoughts, and I invite you for the address. Over to you, ma'am.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಕ್ರೀಡೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಅಂತಃಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಗಟ್ಟಿಗೊಳಿಸೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರಬಲವಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಸರ್ವತೋಮುಖವಾದ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಗುರುತಿಸುವಾಗ ದೈಹಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಳೆದ 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕೊರೋನಾ ವೈರಾಣುವಿನ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ರಮಣದಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಯುವ ಜನತೆಯ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಗದಷ್ಟು ಪರಿಣಾಮವನ್ನ ಅದು ಬೀರಿದೆ. ಇಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ದೈಹಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ವಿಭಾಗ ಮತ್ತು ಅದರ ನೇತೃತ್ವವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸಿರುವಂತವರು ಈ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಉನ್ನತವಾದಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿ ಆ ಎಡೆಗೆ ಯುವ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾಗಿಯೂ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸದೃಢತೆಯನ್ನ ಗಟ್ಟಿಗೊಳಿಸುವ ಎಡೆಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಜಾಗೃತಿಯನ್ನ ವಹಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಮೊದಲು ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಕ್ರೀಡೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಮನುಷ್ಯನನ್ನ ಸದೃಢಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾದಂಥದ್ದು. ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸದೃಢತೆ ದೇಹದ ಮೇಲೆ, ದೈಹಿಕ ಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪರಿಣಾಮವನ್ನ ಬೀರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕ್ರೀಡಾಪಟುವಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅವನ ಸರ್ವತೋಮುಖ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮನಸ್ಸು. ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಫಿಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಸದೃಢತೆ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಸದೃಢತೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ದೇಹ ಮತ್ತು ಮನಸ್ಸುಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದುಗೂಡಿಸಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಗುರಿಯನ್ನ ಮುಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಆ ಎಡೆಗೆ ಕ್ರೀಡೆ ಬಹಳ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮವಾದಂತಹ ಸಾಧನವಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಯುವಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಕರೆದೊಯ್ಯುವ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಮನಸ್ಸು ದೇಹದ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಿಸಿ ದೇಹದ ಒಂದು ಸಮತೋಲನವನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಕ್ರೀಡಾಪಟುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಸಾಹವನ್ನ, ಕ್ರಿಯಾಶೀಲತೆಯನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯವನ್ನ, ಕ್ಷಮತೆಯನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿಯುತವಾದಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಯುಧ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಫಿಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಆಯುಧ ಅದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯೊಳಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರೀಡಾ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರೇನಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಯುವ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯ ಬಗೆಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸದೃಢತೆಯ ಬಗೆಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಗಮನವನ್ನ ಹರಿಸೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸವನ್ನ ತುಂಬೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ, ಅವರನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಆಸಕ್ತರನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಪರಿಸರವನ್ನ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುವಂತದರ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರೀಡಾ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ರೀಡಾಪಟುಗಳನ್ನ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮವಾಗಿ ರೂಪಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾದಂತ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಆ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳಕಾಗಿ, ಒಂದು ಮುಂಬೆಳಕಾಗಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರೀಡಾ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮುಂಬೆಳಕಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಬೆಳಕನ್ನ ಚೆಲ್ಲುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆಶಿಸ್ತಾ, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಸಂಯೋಜಕರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಕ್ರೀಡಾ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರುಗಳಿಗೆ ವಂದಿಸಿ ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲವು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ದೈಹಿಕ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಸಮತೋಲನವೇ ಯಶಸ್ಸಿನ ಗುಟ್ಟು ಹಾಗೂ ಕ್ರೀಡೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಅಂತಃಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ವೃದ್ಧಿಗೊಳಿಸುವ ಸಾಧನ ಎಂದು ಮನದಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟ ನಿಮಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತಾ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ us. I now request the guest of honor for today's event, Dr. Ajay Chandran CK, Principal, SJB Institute of Technology, Bengaluru, to address the gathering. Sir, over to you.
Greetings to all the organizers, dignitaries, participants. It is very heartening to see that we have more than 250 plus participants attending this national conference, national seminar titled Mental Fitness and Academic Performance During Pandemic. We have stalwarts amongst us. Today's president for the overall function, Dr. K.N. Subramania, my dear colleague, principal of RVCE. We have Dr. Sundarraj Ars, the keynote speaker. We have Dr. C. Virendra Chenju. He is a well-known psychologist, giving us insights into the concepts of wellness. I take this privilege to congratulate the entire organizing team headed by Dr. Amarnath KK sir. Congratulations to all the dignitaries, all the teaching support faculty, staff of Department of Physical Education and Sports in the respective institutions. And I'm sure a whole lot of stalwarts are available today amongst the participants who are keen to realize the strategies and future policies which will shape the mental fitness and academic performance. Pandemic has taught us various newer dimensions. Each one of us had gone through various exploration how to strengthen the team in terms of physical wellness, mental wellness. Overall, we'll call it wellness. Wellness is very important for the self. Most of us realize wellness as an internalizing concept. Today, when we are together, realizing the importance of wellness, we go through various resources. I was just recollecting one of the important resources from our Puranas. Sage Agastya Muni had guided Lord Sri Ram in terms of Aditya Hridaya Mantra, one of the most respected mantras in the Ramayana, in the Valmiki Ramayana. The mantra goes like this: Santapa Nashakaraya Namo Namah, Moha Vinashakaraya Namo Namah, Chandaya Raudraya Saumaya Ghoraya, Kanti Madam Kanti Rupayate Namo Namaha. At a gist, at a concept level, the mantra addresses that we have to maintain calmness, spiritually grounded, firm in our righteousness, satya, dharma, karma. So wellness doesn't just mean physical. When we say physical strength, it is used for good deeds, good actions, good thoughts. So it is all blended. Today, more relevant for each one of us during pandemic, each one of us made sure that our students are still learning, still motivated. Each and every gurus involved in the teaching learning process made sure they are well connected with the parents, to the children, and they made sure in these challenging times, when we talk about performance, everybody looks at bettering every day, every moment, every better version of each one of us. So when we look at the wellness, it is all about individual, self, Atman, Chintan. When we look at all these concepts, finer details, we have to make ourselves fit. Our physical education departments are doing everything possible, keen in getting us that orientation. Activities like yoga, activities like sports. But during pandemic, we had all these aspects. Then they took these training programs online. They shared good documentary videos, footages with each one of us, motivated each one of us. So in overall, each and every institution, through their activities, made sure that the wellness is the core of performance. Without keeping a balance, without keeping the wellness, without keeping the purity of thoughts, without keeping the energy level, much required energy level, positive energy level. When we say positive, shaping something, sharing happiness, doing more productive things, adding happiness to the world, getting the desired outcomes of our day-to-day routine. So each one of us have gone through these challenges, these opportunities. Pandemic has given us a different opportunity. Suddenly we realize the build space is required. Home was a build space as a home, as an office, as a productive center, as a think tank, as a center. So a whole lot of aspects we have realized, which was not in the regular scheme of things. So this conference, I'm sure, with all the stalwarts available amongst us, with all
the mental health and the fitness a priority towards the academic performance of students. People have started working beyond and above the boundaries. Thank you, sir, for being with us and sharing a few thoughts with all of us. Thank you, sir. May I now request Ranganath GH, Physical Education Director, SJB Institute of Technology, Bengaluru, to introduce the keynote speaker of today's event. Ranganath sir, over to you.
Jai Shri Gurudev. With the blessings of Pujya Maha Swamiji, it's my privilege to introduce Dr. Sundaraj Aras to the August gathering. Dr. Sundaraj Aras is the proud son of late Srimati Lingaraj Amane and late Sri Chanaraj Aras. He completed his MPD and obtained PhD from Bangalore University. He started his career as a physical education teacher in an high school. Later, joined Bangalore University as a research assistant. Then he became lecturer, associate professor, and professor at University College of Physical Education, Bangalore University. He has successfully guided 15 PhD and 25 MPhil scholars. He was also the Dean, Faculty of Education, Chairman of Board of Studies, and Board of Examiners in Physical Education of Bangalore University. He was the member of BOS and BOE of all the universities of Karnataka and some of the universities in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. He was the Director of Physical Education of Bangalore University for 4 years. He introduced the sports policy, which is the first of its kind in the universities of Karnataka. He was the active member of Professor Vaidyanathan Committee, Sports Policy Committee constituted by Government of Karnataka. He has presented many papers, chaired sessions, and delivered keynote address at many national and international conferences. In recognition of his academic excellence and administrative capabilities, Government of Karnataka has appointed him as the Registrar Evaluation for Bangalore North University, Kolar. During that period, he has also performed the duty as the finance officer of that university. He is also an artist who has acted in many TV serials and award-winning movies directed by Nadoja Sri Bangalore Barguru Ramachandrappa, including Hagalu Vesha, where Shivraj Kumar was the hero. He is a great teacher, excellent orator, very supportive and jovial and straightforward person. He is a true friend, philosopher, and a guide to his students and friends. Now I request the Honorable Keynote Speaker of the day to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm audible. I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Ranganath, for your sweet words. I don't know how far I am deserve for it. Anyhow, let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one, the principal of the SJBIC, and Dr. Ajay Chandran, Dr. Subramaniam, the principal of the RV College, Dr. Jay Kumari, the principal of the Mahajan College, and all my distinguished friends and the principal of the College of Physical Education, Bangalore University, Dr. K.K. Amarnath. And also, it's a great pleasure for me to just, say hello to my good friend, Virender. And and he was a well-known psychologist, a clinical psychologist, and one hand he helps the people, and also a sports psychologist. On the other hand, he also helping the sports persons who are in the sports field to gain the performance. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, very pleasant situation to just hear to Dr. Ajay Chandan. He has gone to the Vedic period and also given some tips and ideas about the wellness concept. As we all know that we know how to train our body. Unfortunately, we are not trained how to train our brain. That's the most important thing. So, brain is it is the one which makes everything possible under the sun. A body is a slave, mind is the boss. And if you don't know how to manage and maintain a good mental health, and there lies a problem. As you all know that we are passing through a great challenge. Either you have not experienced or we have heard about it. But of course, and I'm a fan of 2 years, as Dr. Jain expressed, we have come out with a lot of creative ideas in teaching and learning. Especially in pandemic, teaching has become more isolated. Of course, it is widened to the entire world, but we could not experience it. And knowing and experience makes a lot of difference, especially the students from the professional colleges like engineering and physical education, where they have to have a lot of practical experience which they have missed. Unfortunately, they have been given some tips and ideas through a lot of new apps with regard to the practical experience. That's not enough, and I'm sure that teaching not only confines with the 4 walls. The experience a learner will get out of the box, out of the classroom, is most important. That is where the student are unfortunately have not been able to experience and gain knowledge. And learning, especially, always learning has been focused or targeted to the performance. And especially during the pandemic, the biggest challenge for the student is the freedom, and it is the space where they want. And the isolation itself is the biggest punishment for humankind. As Aristotle said that, man is a, social animal, but he cannot live without a group. But of course, he is a gregarious in nature. Either he cannot keep away from the group, or he cannot adjust with the group. That is the tension. That is the mental agony of a human brain. Unfortunately, what we are seeing today, especially in India, we are not aware. We are not so serious about our mental health, and there are regular, checkups with regard to the physical health is concerned, but nobody bothers about the mental health. Unfortunately, according to World Health Organization, the 7 lakh people die because of one or the other issues, especially suicidal. In India, in every 7 seconds, one fellow will get suicide. And that too, the students, especially the youth, age group of 15 to 19 are the vulnerable groups. What is the reason behind it? And I've seen number of recently today in today's paper, I could able to see one of the PhD students from the Indian Institute of Science has succumbed to the death through suicide. What is happening? Where we are? How to go about it? That's the biggest challenge about it. What is that mental health? It is nothing but how we act, how we behave, how we feel. And that too in different situations and different circumstances and different challenges before us. That is very difficult unless and until there is a kind of an intervention of psychological intervention from the psychological experts. It's not possible. It's not possible just by reading and writing and knowing things. But badly we need some kind of psychological intervention, especially the counseling through the counselors. Because you know that there is a pressure on the students, especially academic pressure. Academic pressure is a very, very, very unfortunate situation which is created by this pandemic. Either they cannot share with their parents, nor they cannot share with their peer group, nor they cannot even share totally with their, teachers. Unfortunately, they are going through a trauma. And that makes that way the performance goes down. And how to balance in this critical condition, how to balance mental health, how to balance the mental health is the biggest challenge before all of us. All of us. It is not just only the sportsmen, not just only the students. We are undergoing that kind of a trauma. But of course, but there is a need to overcome the psychological distress, which was not taken seriously in the educational institution. That is my concern. The way the mental health and the mental disturbance occurs in day-to-day life, and how best we can come out of it. That's one of the biggest challenge. It is nothing but what do you mean by mental fitness? As you know that physical fitness is the one where an individual is able to get through the daily regular activities of day-to-day life without a strain, pain, and to continue that work with pleasure. That's the most important thing. Their way lies the productivity. It is not enough that how long you work. What is the ultimate result? It is not that how long a student sit in a library or in an academic class and how best he comes out with the result. That is the ultimate thing. That requires a kind of a counseling. On the other hand, a kind of a supportive system from the institution. It is just a well-being always is a broader sense. Earlier we used to talk about the mental health. Now it is mental well-being. Apart from physical health, apart from mental health, it goes with the spiritual, the environment, occupational, and all such things combines together, makes the well-being. Well, I don't want to touch to the well-being aspect. It is rather a wider, subject. But when you talk of the mental fitness, it is nothing but to have a kind of a resilience. How best you can resist yourself to the day-to-day challenges. How you think, how we think, and how we behave, and how we feel. Feeling, action, and thinking are the three important aspects in our life. And that's the denotes your health condition, mental health condition. In a circumstances where, as I told you today, one of the Indian Institute of Science, a PhD scholar, a reputed institution, has, suicide. He attempted to the death. Why? What is the reason behind it? What was the trauma he was facing? And there may be the academic pressure, it may be social aspect, it may be some kind of economical aspect. Because learning doesn't go with only academic aspect. There are a lot of interventions in between. A student has to come across all these challenges and he has to move forward in a right direction, in a right path. And that focus has to be set. That mindset has to be set in a student, irrespective of whatever the pain, whatever the strain, and whatever the kind of challenges he has to be. That's what I told you. Training a brain is most important. Unfortunately, in the country, we are not, we limit exercises and sports only to the sports person. I'm telling you, the body requires a kind of exercise. Your body requires, your brain requires exercise. Your brain requires, and your heart requires an exercise. You had to vibrate the cells in your brain system. So, very important aspects with regard to the health fitness is concerned is the self-acceptance. You know your strong point. You also know your weak points. You should accept your weak. Unfortunately, we don't do it. We always challenge with someone else. No, I am not like that. I can do. But you should always know that I cannot do it. You should know your limitation of your body, limitation of your brain. You cannot just compare individual to the other individual. It's not so like that. Each individual differs in his mental attributes and physical attributes, physiological functioning. In that sense, one has to know this. One has to learn to accept things, self-acceptance. And next is the self-esteem. That's another important thing. From self-acceptance to move towards the self-esteem. And then it is the resistance. All these important aspects plays a vital role. And the ability to manage that ultimately lead to the ability to manage in a very, very crucial conditions, in a very, very challenging conditions of our day-to-day life. So, the components, three components of a fitness or healthness is affirmation, visualization, and relaxation. Unfortunately, all these things will not go into, inculcate and introduce and induce all these things to the students in our day-to-day learning. Unfortunately, there is a lack of a training, mental training for the students. Unfortunately, we require a counselor, a psychologist to deal with, not for all the students, not for all the students. If it is all the student, it is not so also bad. But we need a kind of training, mental training to keep up your mental fitness, leading to the mental health, and that automatically, when you are healthy, and definitely you will going to perform. The performance is always related to your mental well-being. That's the most important thing one has to know. Dear friends, I have already told you, in the country, India, recently we see number of debates on the electronic media after the Sushant Singh Rajput suicide. Earlier, there was no details with regard to the mental health is concerned. Even today, if you switch on to the electronic media, you will have number of days. According to the survey, 1 in each 7 persons, we are, one way or the other, including me, we are disturbed with our mental faculty and one or the other conditions. Well, so it is our duty to see that how best we train our students. Because I know very well that the engineering students, they come with a lot of anticipation, lot of expectation. Now in this pandemic situation, what will be their condition? Because they lack a lot of opportunities, whether it is sports, whether it is cultural, whether it is debate, whether it is day-to-day enjoyment, with a peer group. They have missed everything. Only thing, we have put them in the reading, writing. And this is one of the distressful position of any student for that matter, starting from the kindergarten to the university level. So this distress, mental distress, requires some kind of relaxation. How to relax? How to relax in a critical condition? That is one of the most challenge before us. In a relaxing after a good lunch or a dinner, it's quite a common thing. But relaxing in a difficult conditions, overcoming the challenges is also another greatest challenge before us. Especially this sportsman, for take example of the sportsman, they miss a lot of experiences, competitions. They are playing without spectators. They are playing without a smile on their face. These are the conditions we have to understand. So I don't want to go in detail because I'm here to listen to the Virender, my good friend. And because I don't want to take much of time, because my little bit of work has been listened by Dr. Jaykumar by giving some tips. So I'm grateful here for giving me an opportunity. I once again always tell to see that how best our mental health is kept up in a very vibrant way by when you do work in a consciously. I've already sold self-acceptance and responsibility, self-responsibility, and self-assertiveness. Some of the important aspects which are most important, and that plays a vital role in bringing the performance into the higher level. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, I've already told we are already running late. With these few words, I thank each one of us in this virtual conference, especially Dr. Amarnath and Dr. Rupa Madam and Dr. N. Vishwanath, my good friend, and Ranganath and Bhaskar, everyone, for giving me an opportunity to just lead this speaker. My keynote, the duty of the keynote speaker is to give some tips and see some kind of our own issues and problems before the main speaker, to see that all those issues, all those important aspects is well dealt during his speech. With these few words, I thank each and everyone for giving me an opportunity. Thank you one and all. Once again, Virender, I am eagerly waiting for your talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Certainly, this pandemic was a blessing in disguise for we teachers. We have explored all impossibles in spite of odds and disparities. Only concern to enhance the academic performance, the unceasing academic performance of our students. Thank you, sir. In fact, it's very hard to make a nutshell of your speech. This is the best I could do, and I've done it, sir. Thank you for being with us and sharing your experiences and thoughts. Thanks mean a lot. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
May now request Dr. Vishwanatha CN, Physical Education Director, RV College of Engineering, to introduce the stalwart to the august gathering. Sir, over to you.
It's audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Screen is also visible, right?
Yeah.
Very good morning, all. I, Dr. Vishwanath CN, Director of
No,
Physical
sir,
Education.
don't read totally. Just read for 1 to lines enough.
Yes, sir.
Length
Yes,
like
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll finish within a minute, sir.
that.
Dr. Virender Chennoju is a renowned psychologist with various degrees from multiple universities. Dr. Virender has done his Master of Science in Psychology from Kakatiya University, PG in Psychological Counseling from the IPMS, Mumbai, and PG Diploma in Counseling and Guidance from the Annamalai University. He possesses a master's degree in philosophy from the Central University of Hyderabad. He has obtained his master's and doctorate in physics from the Osmania University. Dr. Virender has conducted many international workshops and gave a great number of seminars about in the span of 20 years. The following are a few of the prominent international conferences where Dr. Virender was the lead speaker. Dr. Virender has presented a paper on effective counseling methods on NLP to enhance the performance of players in Vietnam in the year 2017. In the same year, he has delivered a talk on effective counseling methods to diffuse anxiety, pressure to give the best performance by the players in Diversity, Philippines. He has so far published over six articles in many international scientific journals and 4 research articles in the domain of sports psychology in reputed international journals. During the year 2002-3, Dr. Virender was a guest scientist researcher at the Chang'an University of Education, Taipei, Taiwan. Before his departure to Taiwan, he addressed over 1 lakh students on the topic of love among teenagers. Dr. Virender has so far trained over 3 lakh students, 50,000 teachers, 30,000 parents, 20,000 professionals. This unique experience of over 20 plus years as lecturer, counselor, writer, and a trainer dealing with stress, anxiety, coping mechanisms, and anti-depression campaigns is clearly evident in his methods, which are therapeutic, experimental, and are known to induce useful life-changing results. Dr. Virender likes to work with the youth and children of this generation more than anything. His primary focus verticals include anger management, overcoming depression, anxiety, fear of failure, and suicidal tendencies. His deliverance of coping mechanism to these issues to both students and parents on how to help them are well known within the educational communities that he has served. As a personal project, Dr. Virender has launched a helpline for students with suicidal tendencies. His awareness campaigns against student suicide and his stress management workshop in the states of Karnataka and AP are well known. Teenage Temptations is another campaign done by him to create awareness for teens. Dr. Virender has authored many books on various aspects of psychology, students and effects of psychology to clear examinations and life goals, etc. His warmth and crisp sense of humor, coupled with his wisdom and oratory proficiency, form his charming personality. His non-judgmental, friendly, and non-threatening approaches make it easier for teenagers, parents, and professionals to get comfortable with him and to open up. An eminent psychologist with over 20 years of experience specialized in sports, teenage, and couples counseling, passionate about helping people excel in education, career, and life. I welcome you, sir. We are happy to have with you, and then we welcome for the uh, uh, live seminar on. I welcome you, sir. Over to
Thank you.
Virender, sir.
Thank you, Vishwanath. Your
Thank you.
minute is too long.
Yes.
It seems in Bangalore it is not 60 seconds. It goes to 120 seconds.
Yes. We are
So,
happy to have you, sir. Please welcome.
yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So it's my privilege and I feel great to be part of this seminar. And I thank Manatji and my friend Professor Sundaraj Ars and Vishwanath and all the HODs who spoke and delivered and in the right leadership position to guide the students for the coming centuries. So let me thank all the managements for giving this wonderful opportunity. Let me also appreciate all the students who are participating through Zoom and listening to all the wisdom words from the eminent personalities of Karnataka state. Let me also thank my parents for giving this wonderful life. And let me also thank all my teachers who really added a great amount of value addition to my life. And let me thank my wife, kids, and friends and family for the continuous emotional support. And also let me also thank the media for taking my voice nook and corner of this world through newspapers and the electronic media and YouTube channels. And a lot of books we have been published and reached many of the people. Let me also thank all the farmers who are constantly keep on struggling to feed us to survive on this planet. And let me also thank all the doctors and paramedical staff and police and all the governments for coming to the rescue of the people during the pandemic. You know, there are so many thousands of people who came onto the streets to help out the guest workers who have been scaling nearer to their houses under the scorching sun in 2020, April, May. There are 11 crores people who are on the streets to reach their homes by walk. You know, that is itself is showing that the grit of a person. If you really have the determination to do something, it is, the pandemic given a chance for this world to see how people can really face the challenge and also overcome. And if you really look into the situation, every time there is a one end pandemic is keep coming every 100 years. And those pandemics came and went. But if you can look into the history, human being emerged as a very powerful. After every pandemic, human raised with the more intelligences and more alternative thinking patterns, and also better technology is going to come to your rescue, and also you are going to make your life more easier. It can be after 1720, it can be after 1820, it can be after 1920, and now 2020. So we are all definitely with more optimism to travel into the future, so that either these pandemics challenged us, and I'm sure we are going to get the best available opportunities in coming life. So before entering into this, I welcome each and every young people who are really watching this and listening to them. And this is now my session almost started at 12 o'clock, and this is going to be up to 12:50. Then I request the participants post some questions so that it can be more helpful for me to understand your way of looking at the things because of this pandemic, and also from the academic point of view. I'm really delighted to answer you all, and I feel that you all must bombard me with the questions so that I can also learn in this session, and I'll take home messages from you all will definitely enrich me, and next time I'll come with the more amount of the knowledge and information for the queries and your state of mind to reach you, enrich, so that you really become very powerful this world learning systems, so that our life become very easier and healthier. Before going to that, I'll share my PPT. Yeah, now we are addressing to the post-millennials. You know, there is a classification, the year to year. While generation who born in the 1960s, we call them as the X generation. And after 1975, who born 75 to 85, we call them as Y generation. And 1995, 85, 95 to about till 2000, we call them as the Z generation, or we can also call them as the I generation. And after 2000, we call them as the post millennials. The Z generation can be called the I generation, as well as the millennials also we call, because the 2000 year is there. So now I'm addressing, they're all majority of the students definitely will be born below 2000. So they're all called as the post millennials. You know, the post millennials has a tremendous amount of differences compared to the Z generation and of my parent generation, who born in the 40s to the 60s. In between 60s, we call them as the baby boomers. You know, they are very silent. They really don't know what to question, where to question. But this generation has, from there, the baby boomers to post millennials, if you can see, there is a sea change in this 70, 80 years of life. And these post millennials have different way of approach. You know, the post millennials have been nurtured and pampered by parents who did not want to make the mistakes of the previous generations. See, the parents of this generation, means who born around 1970, all the post millennial parents will be born around 1970. Then those parents, they don't want to give any trouble to the post millennial children, because 70s born parent thinks that, you know, I born in poverty, I born with less privileged, I born in things where there was no much technology. So I struggled a lot to go to a college or reach a college or to get a job or to make my meal. So these are all the troubles the 70 parents experienced and suffered. So they decided that their kids should not get any kind of problems like this. So they given everything. Majority of the post millennials, they really don't know that where is the post office, what post office does. Majority of the kids, they really don't know where is the bank and what is the culture of the bank, and they really don't know what is a demand draft and the check, the difference between the demand and check. So this is the post millennials lifestyle. The post millennials are very confident, majority of them, and also very, very ambitious. And also they are achievement oriented. If you can look into the history of India from 2002 till now, there's a lot of innovations are there, a lot of changes have been taking place because of the technology, and there are a lot of number of students who are flying to abroad in different countries. And this is how the millions and post millions could bring a lot of change in their lives, and also the state of the country. And also they have a lot of expectations about the employers. You know, earlier, whenever somebody goes to the interview, an interviewer used to ask questions that about your qualification, your intelligence and everything. But now the employee, before entering into the job, employee asks the employer then how much salary is going to give, and what are the benefits you are going to give to me, and what are the systems here for protect myself, and is there any cab facilities there, otherwise it's difficult for me to come to your office, so cab should take me and drop me, and all other things also should be there, then only they are going to join in the company. So the company is really emerged for the demand of these you know, millennial and post millennials, and they started creating that kind of environment also. Now these days the companies are struggling a lot to protect the employers, because every year around 20 to 30% attrition rate is there. That is the reason they are coming with the different kinds of the additions and attractions to the students, so that they can join and they protect them and they can stay here for a long time, and they can work for the the progress of the company. That is how the post millennials and millennials life is going on. That's how they brought a lot of change in the approach of the people of India. Earlier, 1970, 1960 born people of our age group, they were always think that once you join in a company, that is the lifetime. You will travel only with that company. Only you will come out of the company after your retirement. But now, if you can see the millennials and post millennials who born after 1995 and 2000, they're always, you know, keep on changing the company. In 1 year, 2 years, there is a shift from one company to the other company. And within no time, they have an aspiration that they should buy a car, they have a good house, they will have a luxury life need to lead. But whereas the parents who were born 1960 and 1970, they never had a vision that they should buy a car immediately. That is a life goal ambition. These are the basic the changes in the attitudes of the millennials and the post-millennials. And the millions of post-millennials have certain fears. Earlier, people used to afraid about the snakes, but now people are fearful of having the Wi-Fi. Around 24% of the teenagers are afraid that if they wanted to go anywhere, first they check whether Wi-Fi is existing or not. If you go to the airport, whenever the people came out of the airport, entering into the airport lounge, immediately they try to check and go and ask the people, what is the passport of the airport. And when you go to the marriage functions, immediately they ask whether the Wi-Fi is existing or not. You go to the restaurants, you go to the bus stands, you go to the railway stations, they are much connected with the Wi-Fi. And some of the people are there, millennial and post-millennials, they will get stuck with no development opportunities around 40%. They will not realize their career goals 32%. They won't find a job that matches their personality around 32%. So these are the fears of these millennial and post-millennials. Then what are the fears of the X generation and the baby boomers? Their generation is whether I am able to get the food for in a day for 2 times or 3 times or not, whether able to have the good slippers to walk, whether able to really have a good dress for this year or not. These are the worries. In 70 years, the whole system has been turned around, and the millennials, post-millennials are really brought a lot of changes in the approach. See, these are some of the students I could do online sessions from the Bangalore. Some of them are in intermediate, some of them are in graduation. See, this Upendra was from some outskirts of Bangalore, was in a relationship. And he is always, during the pandemic, because, classes are shifted to the online. So in online, we really don't know whether really we're listening or not listening, and we'll log in and we'll keep the camera off, and sometimes our mic also off. Then what we do, people immediately open the WhatsApp on the mobile or in a laptop. Then we'll start chatting. Some people go to the Insta, some people do the FB, some people will keep on playing in the video games on the online lessons are going on. Similarly, Upendra also got stuck and he was totally into the WhatsApp world. He'll be always keep on sending the messages, collecting the messages. A lot of things was being done, and because of this too much of exposure to the screen and also to the watching and also the playing the video games, he was absolutely 2-3 days lost his sleep. His whole creativity neurons stopped functioning, and he developed some catalytic look, and he was into the deep depression. And we have assessed his state of mind through Zoom call, and then advised to show to some psychiatrist and the psychologist, because NIMHANS is there. So they took them to the NIMHANS, and then they got the treatment. The boy has become better. Swapna, the names are being changed. The same names are I'm not using it. Swapna, too much in social media. All the world is always FB and Insta, and also she's connected with one person on the online and got a great relationship, and she built a lot of dreams about the future, and she developed a lot of affinity towards that boy. And one fine morning, after these lockdown is over, and then she gave all the jewelry present in the house without informing to the parents, the boyfriend. And then after that, the boyfriend, not available on the own phone, and she doesn't know where he stays. And later the parents came to know that the jewelry is missing. Then the Swapna was all through, she was totally disturbed and not able to talk, not able to sleep, not able to eat anything. Then the parents got and they opened called me, and then we had a session. Then in the confession, the Swapna told that I myself given this jewelry to my friend, because my friend said that online his mother was admitted in the hospital and he doesn't have any money, and as soon as mother has become healthier, then I return your all jewelry to you. Then that's how the Swapna totally gone into that madness, and she is given. Yes, see, Mahesh, best friend of highly creative, connected with online money, cards, game, lost money, and depression and anxiety. Mahesh also online. He developed a best friendship with the male itself. But what happened is highly creative. He is a friend who is online, and he introduced him to the rummy card games and some lotteries. Then what do you call? He could crack the password of his father bank password through in his mobile, and he took a lot of money and he could bet on that, and he lost money, and he was also totally entered into the depression. Deepa, she also connected with the online friend. Of course, the online friend is also her classmate once upon a time. Then they had all kinds of chat, and then that relationship went on to the boyfriend girlfriend relationship, and then the boy has asked her that I love you so much. Do you love me? He said. She said yes, I'm for you. Then she said that I'm very much interested to see your body. Then immediately she went to the bathroom and she clicked all the nude photos and sent it to the boy. That has become a very big issue. Then the father has a trouble like anything, not to go to the police, not to do anything. Somehow he could catch him, and then he could snatch away the mobile phone and went to the parents, boy parents, and all of them sat together, and then they had a discussion and a friendly departure and departing taken place. And this girl was totally ashamed of herself, and she was under huge guilt and shame for that she was did, without having consciousness that I should not have sent these kind of pictures for the claimed friend who is friend long time ago, but came onto the online. See, the pandemic made our life, no doubt, it restricted. Earlier we thought that world is very small and you can fly off anywhere, but pandemic's drawn the lines, thrown the challenge at you that what really you're going to do. Then you have to understand what are the things we need to learn. No doubt this pandemic, not only the young generation, for everybody create a lot of stress. It created a lot of agony. In this 1.5 years, a lot of people lost their dear ones. Some people lost their mother, some people lost their father, some people lost both the parents, some people lost grandparents, somebody lost a brother, sibling, uncle, auntie. I lost my mother in the last 2020 October just because of the corona. She was with me. I don't have corona. Even I did not go during the pandemic. I was doing only online. Maybe hardly to buy the vegetables I might have went. So from where it picked up, I don't know. But mother got the corona and she was hospitalized. She was fought for 1 month. She could, die because. So this is how the whole world was under huge pressure of losing something. And the students might have faced a lot of stress because their parents lost, some of the parents lost their jobs. The money has been cut down. The financial resources exhausted. And also you could not move and you can't make the money sitting at home for all the professions. But one thing we should appreciate that the first people who really converted the whole system into online by only the teaching system. We should appraise all the teachers for taking the responsibility that let them lose the money, let them lose it emotionally, but they should not lose the knowledge, let's not lose the learning. That's how the whole world teachers take up the ability and converted themselves into the online teaching, and that is really face a lot of trouble because lot of the teachers really don't know how to teach in online. A lot of faculties really don't know how to prepare PPTs. They really don't know how to create a animated picture on PPT. And they really don't know what are the dimensions I need to use, what font size I need to, what is the fonts I need to use to appear very appealing for the students. But they all learned from the online and they created a lot of PPTs and they keep on passing the knowledge for the benefit of the world to move intellectually. And because of this all kind of conditions, after all human, he has infinite freedom. Corona could draw a line and circle, ask him to stay there. Total system is freezed. And the first time you could see that freezing the society, freezing the world, naturally you are disturbed. Your state of mind is totally under confusion, utter chaos. Nobody knows what is going to happen. Nobody knows when this pandemic is going to close. Nobody knows whether this pandemic goes or not. So in that conditions, our Olympics also postponed. And recently, in the month of August, first week, the Olympics have started. And for the first time in the history of 125 years, Olympics also started talking about the mental health. That is the importance of the mental health. All governments started talking at least now about the mental health. The physical health and mental health are all the most important aspect of any human being. You may be physically weak, you may be still able to think, but you are mentally weak. Though you are physically strong, you cannot move. It proved that the two athletes, Osaka and Naomi, US Grand Slam winner, she withdrawn from Wimbledon because she claimed that I am mentally depressed. Even in the Olympics also, the Simone Biles from the US gymnast, she withdrawn from the gymnastic competition in the Olympics. She said that this match I'm not going to take because I'm depressed and suffering with the mental illness. So we have to create this environment that where the mental health is the most important aspect. We need to talk, we need to share, we are ready to take out the people who are really suffering to a professional. So then question is how to define this mental illness, or what is the mental fitness? Illness is that when you are not able to enjoy the nature, not able to enjoy the blossom of the flowers and the greenness and the cool breeze, you feel irritated, then understand that you are not well. Very simple test, you can do it. And we are always on the bed for longer times. You are unable to get up early in the morning. You don't feel like to get up in the morning. You want to do somehow you want to postpone everything. Think that you are not well. Then what is the fitness? Fitness is very simple. Having the positive sense of how we feel, think and act, which improves our ability to enjoy life. It contributes to our innate ability to self-determine. And our psychosocial life needs to be very good. Beyond the absence of any diseases, but you need to be very good. And also it should encourage you to compete, talk about independence, and also you should connect with the society around you, with your family, with your neighbors, with your friends, with your classmates, with your college mates. This is the called as a mental fitness. So everybody you need to have connected with the world. Because you know pretty well, this pandemic told that the whole world become united. And the vaccine what you prepared to enter into the other countries, the vaccine prepared in America came to India, and also the medicine, when the PPT kits, and also the mask, we don't have in the first hand of in 2020 April, we don't have any PPT kits. But now India has become biggest producer of the PPT kits. But in those days, we got from America, we got from Australia, we got from the New Zealand, we got from the Bangladesh. Different countries started sharing these resources, whatever they're having. This is how we need to, it indicated that connecting with the people, the society, with the neighbors is the most important lesson we all need to know. If we can look into the history of the pandemic, 1920 deadly pandemic, Spanish flu, but at that time also people graduated. 1970 graduated in the background of the Vietnam War. 2001 we know pretty well, 9/11 recent, just 5 days back we witnessed, that is the scar in the American intelligence view, and also the Afghan flights could hit the Twin Towers, and there are 350 people, 1,000 people who could die on the day. And in 2003 SARS, a batch of people are really suffered because of the SARS. At the time when the SARS was there, I was in Taiwan. So I came back, I did not return because of these SARS. So nature always poses a challenge at the human race, and every time human grown with more opportunity and betterment. So this time also world is definitely going to become better, and also we are going to improvise our way of looking at the things around us, and we learned a lot of lessons from the pandemic and from the things happened around us in our house and the neighbors. If you look into psychologically how it is affected, Cooker Ross is a psychologist, lady psychologist, who really talk about this grief theory 40 years back. This theory says that whenever human experience any grief, first human talks about the denial. Same in India, what our PM and all the CMs said, no, pandemic is not going to come. No, corona is not going to come to India because India is, high temperature and virus cannot survive. And because our kitchen contains very rich all spices and which are the immunity boosters, and the Indian never get the corona. That is the first denial. Later, what happened? We also entered the lockdown. Everybody was in the limited to their own houses. Then everybody got anger in handling this, method of controlling the corona. Then slowly we started bargaining. And because of this, staying in the house for longer duration, we never had, in India, we never had living all the family members, 4 to 6 people for 24 hours for 40 days. It is impossible for Indians to stay in the same house for so many days. That created a lot of fuss in the family. For 10 days, everybody thought, wow, what a number of holidays we have come. Really, it is an enjoyment. Let us have a gala. And everybody was good for 10 days. 15 days, it's okay. 25 days, theek hai, chalega. 1 month, then everybody started feeling unrest, and people don't have money, and demands are more from the family. Then old people are there. Then they are unable to adjust because children started, moving without any rules and regulations in the house. Nobody is getting up early morning. People are getting as they want. People are sleeping as they want. Always on the mobiles, always on the TVs, always on the movies, always on the laptops. And these are all things really created a lot of stress in the house. And then, everybody started thinking too much about the past. That means they have the almost semi-depression state. Then the lockdown is over. Then what happened? People started taking, we need to learn to adjust with the corona and live. Acceptance came. Then a lot number of symptoms are emerged. Every day, lakhs of cases has been growing in India. And every state started working very hard. All the doctors are really put their life into rescue, and he started giving the good life for the people. And the symptoms testing was done very high, and just pushed into the treatment. And we could see that whole world hospitals are not really enough with respect to the population. This also we came to know. It may be America, it may be UK, it can be Nigeria, it can be Australia, it can be in India. So this told that how governments become helpless when really pandemic comes. So this is really a lesson for everybody, that how human has to learn certain things and to prepare himself for any crisis in the life. Let us see how this corona academic styles. Advantages of the online courses. There are a lot of advantages, sir, because they are convenient. In what way? Wherever you want, you can sit. If you want to sleep and lay down and listen, right? In whatever dress you want, you can listen. And it gives a lot of flexibility. And if you don't want to listen, you can off, and then you can store it. And whenever you want, you can listen them. And also, but this system failed to pay individual attention as you get in the offline. And also it is lifelong learning courses. Also, you can always give an opportunity that everybody can learn online courses. And also it is challenged if you are not disciplined, it is very difficult to learn anything, but you must be self-disciplined, then only you'll be able to listen. And also because of this, all the students, only some percent of the learning loss taken place, but during the pandemic, majority people who are really better position, they could really have the gain in learning. But the people who are suffering with the poverty and below middle class and the BPL people, all really face a lot of trouble. They lost the education. Disadvantages of the online courses. People, online courses make it easier to procrastinate. And it told you that you need to manage the time. And also it is demanding to be active listener. And it is given a freedom such that it is beyond to handle it. And it is given also your own path to learning and responsible for you to own learning. These people who are really aspirant to become better in their life, it is online education really given them a lot of opportunities. Every lesson is available on the YouTube. Every information available on the internet. Everything is available in the form of PPTs or information. The people who really wanted interested. And I also learned a lot of things during the pandemic. I wrote 4 books sitting at home. I utilized this time, and also I published on the Amazon ebooks. I did not go to the hard copy printing. So in this background, majority of the students have always a problem. Whenever an academic year starts before Corona, majority of the students used to be more charged because they are entering the new course and with new aspirations. What are the mistakes they have done in the last year? They decide that no, I should not do this time. Every time, I'm only studying before examinations, and that is creating a lot of pressure. I'm not getting the percentage what I want. But this time, no. From starting itself, I will collect the syllabus, I collect the books, I prepare notes. Every class I listen. After going home, I prepare every note. This is a promise majority of the students make when their academic year starts. 1 month passes. Slowly, the pace of the classes picks up. Then new friends comes. Then whenever the new friends starts coming, when you talk about the studies, they look at you and say, hey, what is this? Just 1 month you started and you're talking about the studies. Arey, ash karo yaar, fun karo, enjoy karo. Life ye age बार nahi aate hain. Ash karo, maja maro, enjoy karo. Exams to year end रहता है, नहीं तो semester हो तो 4 months बाद में आता है. After this 1 month enjoyment, anyhow we have to study and then we'll start picking up. They make promise in the morning, in the night, they break the promise in the morning. Every student, they go back to the home and they wanted to sit in front of the books and start studying the only thing what is he preparing. They immediately, after eating, your eyes droops down, your body is not in your control. It starts, swinging like a simple pendulum. Then you talk to yourself. Today it seems I am very tired. And also the subject is very tough. So better I sleep now. Tomorrow morning I'll get up at 5 o'clock. You make the promise and talk to yourself and you keep the cell phone alarm at 5 o'clock and then you sleep happily. Early in the morning, 5 o'clock, alarm comes. Then immediately, without opening your eyes, you start thinking, what is the program today? Is it necessary to get up at 5 o'clock? I get up now, after going to the college, I get sleep. I think I can sleep for 1 hour. I can get up at 6 o'clock. Then you switch off the alarm, you sleep. On that day, you'll get up late by another 1.5 hours and get up maybe 6:30 or 7 o'clock. Then you wake up and then you say, hey, I really did a mistake. I must have get up. Today, homework was there. I forgot it. Then hurriedly you rush to the college and take your friends' notes. There is a section of the warrior friends always there. Those students are very punctual and very attempt and also very disciplined, and they prepare every note. And those people will pass on their notes to everybody. They sit and talk, copying it. Some of the warriors are there. They don't copy it. They go take the Xerox copy and give to somebody and copy it and give to their notes to them, and they go and submit. This is how it happens. They make the promise and they break the promise. And this pushes, and then once again the exams are going to come. The same old story starts. Before 2-3 days, they claim that my preparation is only 1-day batting. Now 1-day batting changed. Now only T20 only. If the exam is at 10 o'clock, this fellow gets up at 7 o'clock and start preparing the notes and also start reading the notes for the exam. So this is how the student starts talking about it. Why that students, they, in spite of knowing that they need to do it, they cannot do it? What was the reason behind it? Because everybody have low self-esteem. They don't believe themselves. Somewhere in the 10th and intermediate or 8th class, one subject, it may be in English, or it may be mathematics, or it can be social studies. They'll not be in a better position to sit and work on that. So they have a mental block in the brain that they cannot perform better. Like an elephant. See, it's a very interesting story. It's like, some anecdote I just, metaphor you can understand. See, The person who raised the elephants, he gets a baby elephant. When it was a baby elephant itself, what he does is he ties its legs with a huge chain. Baby elephant, it's very baby, he wanted to go here and there. But because of the chain, the baby elephant will not move forward. Then baby elephant start pulling the leg with the chain. But the chain is very strong. The energy of the baby elephant is not sufficient to break the chain. Then after struggling and trying for 1-2 years, elephant fix, I cannot break the chain. Then it stops trying to break it. Then it grows within 10-15 years. The baby elephant becomes gigantic personality with 30-40 feet height and 10 feet width and huge mighty power, physical power. Even at adult elephant also, it cannot break. Then during the process of the growth, the fellow who rears, Mawati fellow, he'll remove the iron chain. He tie only an ordinary rope. But the elephant doesn't know that it's ordinary rope. Elephant doesn't know that it can break the ordinary rope because it has an experience at the childhood days. It thinks that once it is tied, it is powerful and it cannot break. Even becoming thousands of kgs of weight and the mighty power, but it cannot break. If you go and ask the elephant, you are very powerful, you have great physical power, just give a jerk to your leg. The rope connected to your leg is going to break and you'll get the freedom and you can go off from this place. Then elephant says, I tried. Bete, मैं बहुत कुछ कोशिश करा मगर I tried many number of days, but I could not break. I know pretty well my energy is not sufficient to break the iron chain. And it continues the same. Exactly the same way, human also might have some experiences during your secondary education or +2 education. But you are growing. Human brain born with 10 multiple intelligences. Out of the 10, every human being definitely have more than 1 or 2 intelligences. And 10,000 crores of neurons. And the greatest innovation in this century is that if human want to learn, he can learn anything. The learning time may vary from one student to other student. One topic I may learn, a mercantile law in commerce, I can learn taking a time of 1 week, or a student can learn in 3 days, or somebody may take 1 month. Our strength of materials in engineering college of the subject, if you want to learn, I may take 2 months, but some student may learn in 1 month. Or C language in coding, for me it may take 3 months to learn, but somebody may take 10 days or 15 days. The time may vary, but learning is guaranteed. Let us not think like an elephant. Let us not construct ourselves that we are not intelligent. Every human being born intelligent with the 10 multiple intelligences. Infinite memory. There is no limitation for the memory of the human. The students who claim that I read yesterday, today I forget, I prepared very well, but I did not perform better in examination, I forgot everything. That is not because of lack of memory, it is because of fail to retrieve the memory which is already there. Why? Because when you prepare, your short-term memory push into the long-term memory. The process of shifting from short-term memory to the long-term memory is not adequate. Whenever we are not prepared adequately, shift the information from studying to long-term memory, that will make you fail to retrieve the information of the long-term. So we have idea to set goals. Sometimes, prepare the schedule morning to evening whenever you have the holidays. It starts from 6 o'clock. You get up, fresh up, and start studying at 7:30 and have a breakfast. Then you read for 12:31, have lunch, sleep for 1-2 hours. Once again, you have a schedule to finish your assignments. Then go for friends, meet at 5:30, 6 o'clock, come by 7:38 and sit there and then study and sleep at 10:30. This is the schedule generally students will prepare. But what happens in the morning itself? You don't get up as you designed. There itself it starts breaking. Why? Because the same thing, low self-esteem. They don't believe that they can do it. And it happens for 2-3 days. Then they totally forget about the schedule. But what I say, in a 1 week, if you fail to do so for 3 days, don't shift it. Start on the 4th day. Still you have another 4 days in the week. Your week is not going to finish your life. In a month, 4 weeks are there. 2 weeks you did not do for another 2 weeks. Let's suppose 3 weeks you wasted, another 1 week is there. In another week, another 2 days are over, another 3 days are there. Learn to believe and forgive your mistakes. That's how you can execute the goal, what really you want to do it. See, if you can see C.S. Jaydev, 5th rank from Karnataka, Bangalore, 2019, topper, Nalsar University. See, check this girl, Jaykumar, Prema Jaykumari from Mumbai. Her rank is first in CA in 2012. Do you know what is her parents? Her father is auto driver in Mumbai. See, there was an interview when she got the top rank in CA. The anchor asked a question to this girl. How did you achieve such a fantastic rank? You said that you are living in outskirts of Mumbai and your institution is somewhere Dadar. You have to travel almost 2 hours from your place to here and go back to home every day 4 hours. She said, yes. But while traveling in the train, I used to sit and study. I used to study for 1.5 hours. And the co-passengers were always, looking at me, and first they bullied me, but later they could understand that I wanted to, become a chartered accountancy. So I'm attending the classes. They used to, give the place for me. I used to sit and study. This 1.5 hour, totally 4 hour journey, 3 hours I used to sit and study. So only one thought was there. At any cost, I want to become an SCA. If you can look into everybody's interviews, you took the Aranav Sinha. She's a football, I think volleyball player. One day she was traveling to join in a job in Delhi from Lucknow. And in the midnight, some thieves came and they were trying to steal the gold chain in her neck. And in the struggle, what that is, the thieves have thrown her in the midnight from the moving train onto the track. She was asleep, totally gone into unconscious state. There was 10 trains went on her leg. Her leg was totally amputated. And early in the morning, the milk vendors could listen that something is wrong on this track, and they could see that there's a lady, and they joined her. And later, she took treatment and she became better, and without the leg, and people started, making fun of her that you went for a job and you came as a physically handicapped. And they took this challenge and she started, working with the Bachendra Pal at the Himalayan base camp. And she took the challenge and she scaled Everest. She has become the first amputated female to scale the Everest. See, if you can look into all their interviews, they always say only one thing. And we have a lot of challenges in the life, but people rise because of the decisions, not because of the conditions of them and the conditions around them. See, that's such a fantastic lessons they taught us. People rise in the life because of the decisions, but not because of the conditions and situations. We have a lot of different conditions, challenging conditions. No, they say, I'm like a seed. If you sow the seed in the soil have a lot of germs, a lot of worms. They really try to bite the seed, but the seed never allow the germs. They sprout and fine morning, come out of the land and, look at the world. Working against the gravitational pull and the germs and the ants, everything. But the seed has become successful in sprouting and converting seed into a tree. We are all experiencing the pandemic, no doubt about it. It is a challenging situation, but human has such a fantastic spirit that once you take a decision, like all these three, there are hundreds of people are there who really taken decisions. They worked, they fought against the situations which created around them, and they really become very, very successful in their life. Let us see what are the differences between the successful student and unsuccessful student. See, unsuccessful students, if you can look into that, they have the same qualities. Only thing is decisions are different. Let's suppose we take a successful and unsuccessful. Successful student wanted to get up early in the morning, he puts alarm. Unsuccessful student also put an alarm and we wanted to also get up. Morning, alarm comes. Successful think that no, not necessary to get up. Yesterday I did not sleep well. If I don't sleep now, day I also get the sleep. Better sleep now, read later. And he sleeps. Successful student gets the alarm, he also gets the sleep, but he talk to himself, no, I put the alarm myself to get up and read. Let me read now. I'm getting sleep, but I work out to overcome from the sleep. And then he'll get up and he'll wash himself and he'll sit in such a position that he will not get a sleep. Feelings are same, but decisions are different. They take up any task, then they are going to work out on that. That's how the difference between a successful and unsuccessful student. Then another challenge comes, how will be the future? Coming years are not about the competition of knowledge. My dear student, just listen. But the competition of creativity, competition of imagination, competition of learning, competition of independent thinking. These are the things which are going to come for the coming years. And for the past 20 years, we made people like machines. Now coming 20 years, machines will look like people. And so now the society is not knowledge driven, but the wisdom driven and also experience driven. So we all need to collect this and make oneself. And Corona has really changed a lot of things. And in the coming days also, it is going to change a lot of things in our life. So we need to get ready to open up our creativity and start working to bring out the best things in our life. So for that, we need to be mentally fit. To bring any creativity, first of all, we need to be mentally fit, which can connect with make ourselves to be in the competition, make ourselves to be connected with the world, and also make ourselves to be very healthy. One is that physical education plays vital role, that you must do regular exercise and also play a game, any game. It can be shuttle, it can be basketball, it can be volleyball. If nobody is coming to you, please take one cricket ball, tie it and start practicing as in like net practice. Anything. If you go to the Europe, every house contains one ring and basketball. Nobody plays. They only come by from the college or school or offices. The parents, everybody starts pushing the ball into the ring and get the goal, in the basket and get the goal. That's how they play. So at least to make it a habit, healthy habit, that everybody should be in the ground at least for 1 hour, either evening or the morning. That can make you become better. Another best part is visualization of yourself. Visualize yourself the best part of your life, where you could do very well and where you could perform better. Then how the elders and the teachers are appreciated you, or a family appreciating you. Just close your, whenever you feel low, down, just visualize that everybody is appreciating you. That makes you become very, very comfortable. And imagery has powerful impact on your neuron system, and it can pass on to your body through the nervous system, and your muscles really become very relaxed and you feel very comfortable. Listen to the better music. And don't become unrealistic method of dealing things. And in the life, you all need to understand, life always goes with some events. But the meaning which you give for the event, it disturbs you, not the event. So don't give the wrong meaning for the events. Make yourself to be very good so that your life becomes very effective. And I thank one and all for giving this wonderful life. I thank one and all for giving the wonderful opportunity to talk to all of you. Now I request the organizers, please take the questions for another, I think we have time for 13 minutes. Then we can have the question answer session that will definitely make the students to be very interactive and helpful for you.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed a very elaborate discussion on how mindset and mental health is very important. You remind me of Sigmund Freud's famous quote, "Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and come to life in the uglier days." So is the importance where we need to express our emotions. We should be open enough to discuss at least in a closer circle to make our life more comfortable. Probably having asked a question across the globe, which is a challenging task, the answer with every parent would be bringing up children. That is the level of creativity they have blessed with, which is a threat in the other way. So there are great challenges to be met with, sir. In fact, your talk was very enlightening. Thank you for updating with all these. Thank you, sir. Participants, if you have any questions, please post it in the chat box. That will be answered.
Any faculty member want to ask, please give the unmute them and let them ask.
No.
To speak with a session expert, please raise your hand. We will hand over a mic to you.
Sure, not good.
I think no one is posting any questions.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nina.
Dear participants, if you don't have any questions, we will move on further. Sir, there's a question from one of the participants. I'll be reading it for you. How to overcome bad habits?
How to overcome bad habits?
Bad habits.
Okay, this is a very broad and general. If they ask me a particular question, I would have tell. But still, first of all, what they need to do is why they wanted to come out of that bad habit, and number two is why they treat that it is a bad habit. Then number three, after getting the responses, they should prepare a table. It's a 4-column method is there. Advantage of this bad habit, disadvantage of this bad habit, advantage of coming out of this bad habit, disadvantage of coming out of this bad habit. So after writing this 4-column method, they write something in, fill up all these 4 tables. Then each statement, whatever they're written, they need to check and say whether this idea what I've written is having a long-term impact or short-term impact. If they have a long-term impact, let them write L. If they have short-term impact, let them write S against to that, each statement in the 4 columns. Then let them check whether they have the all disadvantages are very high and it receives them that yes, this is really not helpful for them. Then they can at least start working on them. Otherwise, they think that is a bad habit, but there is some complementary reward system generates for them. That is the reason they don't want to come out of the bad habit. So if they prepare the work like this, then they come to a stage that where they strongly believe there is no reward system, they may get it, but it's only short term. Long term, there is a lot of disadvantage and it may really spoil me. So let me come to terms with myself so that he can come out of it. This method is very scientific and it helps them.
So one more question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, how do we deal with PTSD?
See, it is very powerful. It is very difficult for an individual to do it. PTSD is post-trauma stress disorder. First of all, the people suffer for years together when you experience the PTSD. So better is go to a professional psychologist, people like me. They first assess, then they give you the method and therapy. If necessary, they also suggest you to take the psychiatrist help and medicine and the therapy and with the support of the family. These 3 groups can together and make you come out of the PTSD, because this depends on the what is the trauma you're experiencing, what is intensity. Is it emotional trauma, it is a physical trauma, or it is any financial trauma you're experiencing? That should be identified, and therapy varies with the style of trauma you're experiencing. The best suggestion is go to a psychologist. You can't do for yourself.
Looks like there aren't any questions, but some of the audience have posted and they have expressed the presentation was very useful and it has helped them a lot. And some of them are also requesting for the PPTs, which was shared right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Madam, one more question. How obesity can be addressed as we are bound to?
No, obesity, there are two ways of handling, sir. Actually, there are three people have to work with obesity. One is the person, second is that the physician, and third is psychologist. These three people come together, then only obesity will be decreased. Or if the parental background and support system is very good, then the physician and the person and the parent, these three can definitely make it to overcome.
I find the youths
Yeah.
are prone to the more eating disorders.
Yes, yes.
Now it has become one of the, earlier it was not taken very seriously. Now World Health Organization come out and with a definition that itself is a disorder.
Yes.
And how to control and how to overcome.
Okay.
Because now the parents also fond of taking to the children's, whether like it or not, and for a luxury, some kind of a show off, they'll make the children's to eat and more for the
Yes.
luxurious.
Yeah.
And that continuity becomes a disorder.
Yes.
What is your suggestion, please?
Sir, this is basically it's a very important question because see our family system totally in the house, how the family members, what are the roles played with the family members has been totally disorganized. See, majority of the parents, father or mother, if they take the responsibility of preparing the latest food which is coming up and
Yes.
prepare and serve the kids, they definitely enjoy the food at home. But now what happens, because parents are not ready to learn the new food items in the house, naturally they have to depend on the outside. And
Yes.
also the regularity of the system of the studies. The students now for the various competitive exams, they leave the house by 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock. But the parents are not really ready to get up and prepare at that particular point. Some section of the parents. So then what they do? They immediately say that you can offer it on the online and get it. So the people will be very comfortable with that. Why we to stress and suffer? In Hyderabad, by morning 4 o'clock before pandemic, by morning 4 o'clock, the roads are very busy. Why? Because our institution starts by 5 o'clock. All coaching institutions for the IIT Foundation, NEET Foundation, and IIT people, NEET people, they start traveling from the houses to the institutions at various places. They should reach 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock institution starts. And majority of the below middle class parents, they get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, prepare the food, they prepare the breakfast and lunch pack and give to these two things, and they send their kids by autos. But see, for a higher economical group, they may be very busy with their own schedules, but they are not ready to prepare the food early in the morning and give lunch packs to them. And they have money, they give it. People have time, they give the time. People have the money, they give the money. So this is how the obesity has become a major thing. Once the parent, whether irrespective of the classes, irrespective of the economical status, if the parents are ready to learn to prepare new food items at home, not that what their parents would train these people to prepare in 2020 also, if you prepare the same thing, kids are not ready to eat.
Yes.
The taste has changed. The palate is different. That is number one. Number two, every school has to introduce the physical education is one of the major subject like maths, physics, chemistry. They have to spend at least 1 hour in the ground. I always suggest all the school managements should, when the student comes, don't send to the classrooms, send to the ground, let them play for 1 hour of their choice of game and come back to the classes. Then this obesity problem definitely disappears in another 20 years.
Thank you. Very nice. That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what is happening today, we are not bothered about the physical exercises and activities.
Yes,
No movie.
yes. Correct.
As I said, earlier we used to go for a, market to buy the vegetables. Now we
Correct.
order.
Yes, everything online,
We are
sir.
not going for hotels. Online,
Yes.
online service,
Ah.
online services. And then made no movement, no exercise, no stride. Very nice of you. Correct.
So shall we stop? It's already 1.
Oh, madam.
Yeah. Thank you, Virendra sir, and special thanks from all of us here for being with us. It was, in fact, a very informative address for all of us. Thank you, sir. Due to unavoidable circumstances, Subramania sir will be not able to make it for today's event. In his absentia, we thank for all the support he has rendered us, and it's the right time for us to thank and acknowledge for all those who are being tirelessly working off screen to bring us on screen.
Thank you very
Well-
much for that. I especially thank Professor Sundarajan for giving this opportunity. Okay then, thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. It's a
Yes.
pleasure. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye, madam. Thank you for your nice comparing.
Sir, still
Thank
session
you,
is
sir.
going on, sir. Please.
I now call upon Dr. Bhaskar Hetchen, Organizing Secretary, Physical Education Director of SBRR Mahajan First Grade College, Mysuru, to propose vote of thanks. Sir, over to you.
Very good afternoon, one and all present here. On behalf of RV College of Engineering, SJB Institute of Technology, SPRR Mahajana First Grade College, in association with University College of Physical Education, Bengaluru University, Bengaluru. I wholeheartedly thank all the dignitaries who have presented here, and then my special thanks to Dr. Sundaraj Aras has proposed a keynote address, and I also thanks Dr. Virendra Chennoju, psychologist from Hyderabad. He has rendered a wonderful session, and then I think all the participants have got benefited with this, with this session. Thank you very much, sir. And I thank all the principals of SBRR Mahajana College, SJB Institute of Technology, RV College of Engineering, and Dr. Amarnath KK, Chairman and Principal of University College of Physical Education, Bengaluru University, and also the convener of this event. Thank you very much, sir. I thank all the participants and my co-explorers, and Mr. Ranganath, he is the organizing secretary. He has done a wonderful job to this event in a grand manner. Thank you very much, sir. And I thank Dr. Bhaskar Hetchen and all the faculty members from University College of Physical Education, SJB Institute of Technology, SBRR Mahajana First Grade College, and RV College of Engineering. I thank wholeheartedly, thank each and everyone. My special thanks to Rupa Madam has rendered his Master of Ceremony in this session. Thank you all. And I also thank all the advisory committee members. We have around 20 advisory committee members in our seminar. I wholeheartedly thank each and everyone, those who have participated in this live seminar. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much. I once again thank Virendra Chennoju sir. You have presented a beautiful session, and I think we have enlightened each and everyone. Thank you all. Thank you very much.